The meeting was then adjourned. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
There certainly are.
There are?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, please tell us about them, Mr. Bigelow.
This is Dr. Walter Bell, and I'd like to bring you another transcribed chapter in the story of Empire County. This series is presented by the New York State Department of Health and produced by the State Radio Bureau. Today's story, Additions and Corrections. As Commissioner of Health for Empire County, I've attended public meetings that covered many subjects, but I'll have to admit that I didn't look forward to this meeting. It was the second public meeting on the same topic. I arrived a little late after Mrs. Crothers had already started reading the minutes of that pretty rugged first meeting.
Then the major subject of new business was introduced by Dr. Walter Bell, who stated that Empire City Civic Club should definitely consider passing the resolution to put sodium fluoride in its water supply. Dr. Bell's talk...
I want to stress to all of you that the people who will benefit from fluoridation of our water supply will ultimately be all of the people of the county. The benefits from fluoridated water are greatest among the children who drink this water from birth throughout their childhood, and these benefits remain with them for life. Our next generations of children and adults will not have the same dental troubles we have today. Water fluoridation has been proved to be the most successful public health measure to date in reducing the number of decayed teeth. Now, in conclusion, let me say, since Empire County is...
Following Dr. Bell's comments, Mr. Frank Bigelow spoke briefly against the plan.
And so I say to you good citizens, and to you doctors who undoubtedly have all good faith in presenting this scheme, I say to you, you have no right to impose medication by governmental order. If you put fluorine in our water supply, we'd all have to drink it, whether we wanted to or not. And so again, I say...
Then Dr. Henry Langston, president of the District Dental Society, presented some interesting facts and figures. Dr. Langston...
After considering these findings carefully, in 1944, the New York State Department of Health decided to make a test to see whether water fluoridation really did cut down tooth decay among children. The cities of Newburgh and Kingston agreed to participate in that test. Sodium fluoride was added to Newburgh's water, but not to Kingston's. Dental and medical examinations...
After Dr. Langston's enlightening words, the general discussion lasted for more than an hour.
How do we know that this sodium fluoride won't have harmful effects?
Yes, Mr. Bigelow?
That's right. Do you think it's wise to risk the health of all of our citizens for the comparatively minor reason of preventing a few cavities?
Our drinking water is delicious now. This fluorine is liable to change its taste.
Mr. Bigelow?
Yes, indeed. Empire County is famous for the fresh taste of its water. Why take chances on ruining that reputation? And how do we know what effects fluoridation will have? Let's look at it from the business standpoint.
Mr. Bigelow?
I agree. My firm is negotiating now to bring a new factory into Empire City. It's waterfront property. Now, when they hear about this fluorine business, they may very well decide that Empire City water won't be usable. So I say to you again, this may be a very dangerous move.
Well, you can understand how down in the dumps both Dr. Langston and I were when I took him home after that first meeting.
Say, this is awfully nice of you, Dr. Bell.
Oh, just chalk it up to greater cooperation between the Dental Society and the Health Department.
Cooperation didn't accomplish too much at tonight's meeting.
No.
At least not with Mr. Bigelow. He certainly succeeded in influencing the others.
Well, we have to remember that water fluoridation is almost a completely new thought to people. Oh, is this the turn?
Fourth house on the right. Right. All I know is that the Dental Society is going to be awful disappointed when I report that the plan didn't go through. Oh, this is the house.
Right. Well, at least we didn't get an out-and-out refusal. They did decide to bring up the subject at the next public meeting.
Yes, but don't forget Frank Bigelow will be right there, probably with the same objections. Thanks for the lift.
Judy! Well, when did you get here?
Hi, Gramps.
Hey, this is no time for a 12-year-old to be awake.
I'll be 13 next month.
I beg your pardon, Judy. Now tell me, when did you get here and where are Mom and Daddy?
Frank Bigelow Jr. and his family arrived at the home of Frank Bigelow Sr. in Empire City at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Now listen, young lady.
The younger Bigelows, whose home is in Newburgh, New York, plan to stay for the weekend.
Oh, you... Now, where is everybody?
Asleep. Why'd you stay so long at that darn old meeting?
It so happens that darn old meeting was a very important one for the whole county. And it's a good thing your grandfather was there.
I'll bet it was. And I'll bet you told him. Here, Gramps, this is your chair. I was keeping it warm for you.
Thanks, dear.
What was the meeting about?
Well, since you stayed up too late already, a few minutes more can't do any harm. Well, some doctors are trying to get the county to initiate fluoridation of the water supply. Now, in plain language, that means...
That means that the New York State Department of Health has explored the artificial fluoridation of communal water for its prophylactic effect on dental caries.
Judy.
Particularly its effect upon the teeth of children from the ages of 6 to 12. So, there.
Well, what about older children and adults? They still will have their dental troubles.
Not if we think a little bit ahead. The children who benefit from the protection of fluoridated water keep that protection for life.
Where'd you learn that?
I told you. You still think of me as your baby granddaughter. I learned all that a few months ago. As a matter of fact, on the debating team. One of our topics was water fluoridation. I bet you told everybody how wonderful it was.
How wonderful. Well, not exactly.
You didn't? Well, what did you say?
No, I didn't say very much. I merely protected our rights as citizens of Empire County.
Oh, Gramps, you didn't oppose the plan.
Well, yes, I did. I said that no dental society or public health department could force everybody to drink water with that there chemical in it.
Sodium fluoride.
Well, whatever it is. They can't do it, just for the sake of maybe stopping a few cavities.
A few cavities. Look at this.
Now, Judy, close your mouth.
Not until you look.
Well, all right, I've looked.
See any cavities?
Wouldn't know 'em if I did.
Well, did you see any fillings?
Yeah, I think I did.
You saw exactly 2. I asked Daddy, your son, how many fillings he had at my age. He didn't know exactly, but he guessed at about a dozen.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Frank, your daddy, unfortunately, had a lot of trouble with his teeth.
And so do lots of kids have a lot of trouble. But there sure isn't as much trouble with teeth where I come from. It's a good thing for me and the other children in Newburgh that it was the first city to try fluoridation. Let me see if I can remember that debate. The decrease in DMF permanent teeth...
Hold on there. What does DMF mean?
Oh, Gramps, you're a buggy whip.
Huh?
DMF means decayed, missing, and filled teeth. And in 4 years, there was more than a 30% decrease in DMF teeth.
Oh, that could have been due to a lot of reasons.
No. This was what is known as a controlled experiment. They didn't put fluorine in the Kingston water. And in the same 4 years, the decayed, missing, filled rate in Kingston stayed just about the same.
Yeah, but didn't the water taste peculiar in Newburgh?
Topic number 2, taste. Fluoridated water is colorless, odorless, and without taste.
And I suppose you're going to tell me that this fluorine chemical has no harmful side effects on the people who drink that water?
They've proved it in Newburgh. All of its effects are beneficial.
Yeah. You certainly are growing up, Miss Bigelow.
Thank you, sir. Where are you going?
To get some paper and pencil from my desk here. Now, tell me, in this debate, did you cover the subject of whether the water will be okay for industrial use after fluoridation?
We certainly did. Same answer. There are no harmful effects.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me get that down. Yeah. Now, the $64 question, Your Honor. How much does this modern improvement cost?
Oh, we know that, too. We had estimates for cities of different sizes throughout the state. I think Empire City would run about $12,500 a year. And that's only very little per person.
125,000 people. That would be 10 cents per person per year. Your grandpa hasn't lost all his mental powers yet. Although I wish I'd spoken to you before I went to this first meeting on fluoridation.
You mean there'll be another one?
Well, 2 weeks from tonight.
Could I go?
Well...
Oh, please, Gramps, I'll be good.
All right. By the way, Judy, you must do pretty well on that debating team.
It's fun.
And when was the fluoridation debate?
Oh, about 5 months ago.
I guess you were pretty lucky to be on the affirmative side of that argument.
Affirmative? They made me captain of the negative.
They did? Well, did you win?
Gosh, no, they fractured us. That's why I remember their arguments so well.
Well, we'll both get a second chance to be on the right side this time.
You ought to open a taxi service, Dr. Bell, specializing in bringing tired dentists to public meetings.
It's just a continuation of the cooperation plan between the dentists and the public health people. Doc, we've probably got a tough session ahead of us tonight.
Especially if Frank Bigelow will be there.
Yeah. Well, that's what public meetings are for.
After a total of 2 hours of discussion on water fluoridation, Dr. Bell moved that the topic be brought up again at the second meeting. The motion was passed. Due to the late hour, Mrs. Hurley's report on the fire department's ladies' auxiliary clam bake was also postponed. The meeting was then adjourned. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
There certainly are.
There are?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, please tell us about them, Mr. Bigelow.
Additions first. I agree with Drs. Bell and Langston that we should add sodium fluoride to our water supply. And I'd like to make a few corrections to most of the statements I made at the last meeting on fluoridation. First of all, there's the topic of harmful effects.
Taste, Gramps.
Huh?
Taste.
Oh, yeah. First of all, there's the subject of taste. It has been proven over a 4-year period in the city of Newburgh that fluoridated water is odorless and colorless and does not affect the taste of the drinking water at all. Now, next, there is...